It's just
So
all gone.
I'll talk a little bit more about, you said there hasn't been much government attempts to prop things up since COVID, but
Well,
I have the January of this year, February this year, the $200 billion they deployed to try and lower mortgage rates, which
oh,
I guess didn't
can't
really
wait.
work. And
Yeah.
then there's the floated idea of the 50-year mortgage and that kind of thing. But aren't you expecting to see more and bigger versions of these things as things deteriorate? Like I guess I'm less convinced as you are that this is about where it breaks. Like I assume they
Well,
can always extend it.
let
Yeah.
me so when I say nothing, yeah, they did something in 24 because 'cause they'd already done so much. They tried this thing in 24 where you could just keep going back to the till, keep going back to the till. I think it was 24 or late 23, that's when they came out with this, payment reduction, modification on Fannie and Freddie, which would target a 20% payment reduction. So that kept everybody going for a long time. But you had immense anger over once people realized what was happening with the FHA, there was anger, especially from people who don't have a home, you know? And so Scott Turner shut that down. And so since that, yes, they've been doing a lot of performing in terms of, "Oh, let's buy down, let's buy some mortgage-backed securities because that worked out so well last time." But it's not done a thing because the bond market's in control, period.
Right.
Like, it's sort of it did so to be clear, when they first were secretly doing it, not telling anyone, I'm sorry, it's so funny. It did sort of, what we call tighten the spread between the 10-year treasury and mortgage-backed securities, or the 30-year mortgage
Right.
because and so it was like a little relief, like it
It got
worked,
rates
but
down a bit. Okay. But then
a
it
little
became
bit.
obvious.
Right. It became everybody figured this out. Like, we're like, what's happening? And so then Trump announces that it's happening. But by the way, they've barely bought anything. Like they didn't go and spend that 200 billion. They're not even close. And so again, it was performance. It's
Right.
performance. The 50-year mortgage, performance. Like this is they are pretending like they're doing things. And what I can tell you is that you will break the securitization market if they try anything else. If they try to go crazy on some kind of loan modification, you will break the agencies, you'll break the securitization, and that's a risk they cannot take. And so they've just kind of backed themselves into a corner. And there is the only thing they can do at this point is what happened last time is the state AGs got involved. I call this the 2011 playbook.
Okay.
And they blamed all the servicers and they said, "You're all foreclosing incorrectly. We have to review all the foreclosures because you guys are taking people's homes." That's what they said to the top 5. Okay, well, that meant I had to pay because I was managing default at the time, 250 PwC analysts to come sit in my shop and review all my foreclosures. Well, they never found that we ever incorrectly foreclosed on someone. What they did find is we got the fees wrong a lot. What's crazy is we usually got the fees wrong, not in our favor.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And so then the Fed said, "Okay, everybody, Wells Fargo, Citi, GMAC, Bank of America, stop this review that we were all paying through the nose." Like if we had just been able to give that money to borrowers, like let's say we won't admit that we were doing what you say we were doing because we weren't,
Yeah.
but we'll give every borrower, $3,000, $4,000, 5,000. And I need to go back and do the math of what we
But it
paid
was very
WP.
expensive. It was
Oh,
yeah, okay.
very expensive. And then they said, "Stop, stop, stop all that. Stop." But what you did through all of that was delay foreclosures. And then the state AGs got involved and they said, "Okay, listen, all foreclosures in my state are going on hold. All of them. And so until you figure this out," and then the DOJ jumped on what the Fed was doing through what was called the Fed consent order. And then you had to do the AG settlement that we settled with 49 state AGs, another fine. And that slowed everything down. So this is the last thing. This is the last thing in their toolkit is the regulatory cycle. Oh, I should say, actually, there's a little thing before that last thing. What they're doing right now is if and people won't remember this, but in 2010 we had like a little mini refi boomlet, is what I will call it, where the distress was kind of put at bay because people were able to come get refinances. Well, what they're doing right now is that they're changing, they're telling servicers they can use Vantage Score instead of FICO when they're evaluating loans. Well, Vantage Score
It's new, right? Or
is
yeah.
new.
Okay.
And as I'm looking at client books and I'm seeing side by side FICO to Vantage, 9 times out of 10, Vantage Score is way higher
Way
than
higher.
FICO,
Okay, so you just
way
look like
higher.
way more credit healthy, and so you can
Yeah.
refinance for a much
Yeah, so
bigger.
you
Okay.
can grab a couple more people in, but the problem is there's just so few people that can qualify now, either because of job losses or more importantly, because of those student loans, which are still not all of them are reporting to credit. That's going to be happening soon. And so a lot of people can't qualify. So they're trying this. But these are the last things left. And buying MBS isn't going to do it. 50-year mortgage isn't. We already have a 40-year modification. People are failing out of that left,
I
right.
mean, what about
Because
you mentioned regulatory though? Like, I'm thinking of like COVID era where
well, yeah.
they just stop you from having to pay. You just can't be foreclosed. You can't like I'm wondering if they do that. Like if they go that crazy with it, then
I think that, and so again, I could it's so hard to explain the securitization market. It would be very difficult for them to pull that off at this point and stay solvent. I mean, now they're gonna print, whatever, maybe, who knows,
I mean, we're
honestly,
seeing
like they
defaults not just in like it's like you mentioned, it's student loans and credit cards
yeah,
and auto
credit cards, it's
and
everything.
it's all
It's
coming like at the
everything
same time. And so I got
at
to
the same
imagine
time.
the level of government response is going to be bigger than I've seen in my lifetime, is what it feels like is coming. So I guess I've always been surprised by their ability to do something. So when you tell me there's nothing left, that's why I'm like skeptical because I just assume
Well,
that, yeah, yeah.
stay skeptical, but I'll tell you that that we've seen this before, like, literally in 2010,
Mhm.
2011, they had bought all the MBS they could possibly buy. They'd done these loan modifications, to a point where, at least they could slow things down, but they wouldn't become I mean, they did actually have to get I should say, Fannie Freddie, that's when they went into conservatorship because it just you ran out of an ability to handle this. So it's hard to explain, but they've just gone to the limit of what they can
Sure,
do.
sure.
And could they shut us all down and do forbearance again? Here's what I think would happen is the pitchforks would come out. And because there are enough people that are aware of this issue now, like, I mean, I talk to them when I'm traveling. You can see it on Twitter. And so I think that they'd have to give everybody a house
Right.
if they
Because,
tried to do
and it's a
that
good
again.
point because, if they do that now, what is primary? I mean, I saw the NAR thing about all home sales is like boomers to boomers. This is,
Right.
and I agree with what you're saying that there are many boomers who are not benefiting from this arrangement, who are entering into homelessness and everything. But like of the people that are benefiting,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
almost
Yeah.
primarily
Yeah.
boomers,
Correct.
and so a massive bailout like this would be such a direct transfer of.
People would get Luigi'd if this happened. I mean, seriously, they would. And it because that's the amount, that's the thing. The younger generations don't have the same issue with violence. I
No,
mean,
they
they've done
don't. I've heard it a
surveys.
lot from my younger
Yeah.
audience. They
They
just
get
don't have the same.
Luigi'd. I mean, I'm not kidding around. Like, this is what would happen because people are so, and this is what I tell other people. I mean, you read my Substack, but
Yeah.
I'm like, remember Gen Xers, remember boomers. These are the people that are gonna be taking care of us. Do you really want them envying your house?
Yeah, your 3
Because you might
houses.
find something in your oatmeal that you did not expect. You know what I mean? Like, we've reached and I gotta tell you, it the crisis never ended from the last time, and this is how I can tell you that they're running out of things to do, and I have to look at what they've done
Mhm.
versus what they've said, and what they've done is they shut down that FHA program. They also shut down lending to non-citizens. they've actually taken steps in the direction of letting this play out despite what they may say on TV. Despite Trump saying, "Well, I want the home prices to stay up
Yeah, he
and I
said that.
want the
Yeah.
younger people to." It's like, and this is when a lot of your viewers may not remember this, but read my lips. Like,
Yeah, no new
no
taxes.
new
Yeah, yeah,
taxes.
yeah.
Hey, guess what?
They
New
got
taxes.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right. And so that's Trump doing the two-step there, but that's not what the actual things they've done. Just, yes, buying the MBS, very little of it,
Yeah.
um, has been it, but I think that was all performance. It was all like, okay, we have to appear to be doing something. The road to housing bill is stuck in the House right now. Um,